Hey y'all, have you ever made a bread pudding? Me neither. So come along with me. Let's make a delicious Jamaican sweet treat bread pudding. When me tell you say this bread pudding nice, it's bread pudding nice. So let's dive into the video and make this from scratch because as you know in this economy, we have to be self-sufficient. Alright guys, let's jump right into the video. Now, make sure say when you're gonna make bread pudding, you have day old bread or some stale bread. You don't want to use fresh bread. I mean, I guess you can, but me no know. I first me I make bread pudding, but most of the them me see a stale bread you use. So go ahead, get your stale bread and cut it up, and you'll cut it up to whatever desired consistency you like. I went ahead with cubes because again most of the them see a cube, and this is my first time making bread pudding, so honestly me just a freestyle. Me not use no direct measurements, me just a freestyle. So after me cut up my bread, me measure it, and when me done measure it, I had about 8 cups of bread all cut up together. So me go ahead and get all of my bread them and me put them in the baking dish. Now eventually, I did have to change out the baking dish because it never did go fit in this baking dish because it was too much, which me never mind at all. So, depending on how much you make sure say you have the necessary baking stuff. So anyway, as you can see, I put all my bread and my cut up in my baking dish, but again, this was too big. Now to the wet ingredients. Make sure a room temperature stuff when I use because whole stuff take like a while longer. Coconut milk is the best milk. I never had any, so me use soy milk because me did have whole heap of soy milk. This was 5 cups of soy milk. A 6 minute I go use, but my mind tell me say no, just use 5 first and then adjust as needed. And I was so right, as I go see later on in our video. So I pour back 1 cup of milk back in our box. I just use 5 cups. Then me I'll go ahead and me I'll go put the rest of stuff them in my milk. The next thing me gonna do is sugar. I use 2 cups of sugar. Me never did want it too sweet, so I just use 2 cups of sugar. That was a half a cup, so 4 of that make 2 cups of sugar. Me did have 3 egg. Me beat that up, throw that in there, and then me put 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Yeah, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon in it. After the 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, I used, I think it was 2 teaspoon of, well, like a splash of almond essence. Then me use 2 teaspoon of rose water. Put 2 teaspoon of rose water in there because that way me I use is a teaspoon measuring spoon, so 2 teaspoon of that, and then me do 3 teaspoon of vanilla. Again, this is just freestyling. I am not going by a direct measurement. I just go by videos that me see and I measure with my heart. And then I had 1/4 cup of butter and put that in there. Now the reason why I say make sure say room temperature stuff yeah use, as you can see, because the milk is cold, I'm gonna put the butter in there, you see it starts solidify back. Yes, so make sure room temperature stuff. Then me grate some nutmeg in there. Me I gonna say this about 1.5 teaspoon of nutmeg, and then me do about 2 teaspoon of salt. Again, me just measure with my heart. And then after me put all of them something together, then I went ahead and mix it up. Oh no. Yeah, me mix it up, and then me I gonna add me raisin with soaking a rum from the year and not because me never have no rum at hand. So me use a half a cup of that. And me put that in there because I wanted some of that in there, rum and all. You know, by the time bake rum evaporate out tight, so it's neither here nor there. Baby boy now get drunk off titty milk. So you mix that up as best as you can so that the sugar dissolve and everything. And then after you mix that up now, you're going to throw that on your bread because you want that to soak on your bread. Now, again, as me say, me did end up have to use two loaf pan. And you're going to see why. Because all I couldn't fit in that. And also too, because me use cold stuff, it took a while for the bread to soak it up. Now this is homemade bread that I made from scratch. This is not store-bought bread. So I don't know if that was the reason why it took a while to soak up in it. But again, as me say. So we pour it in there and it was too much liquid. Then I got my loaf pan and I buttered it. What I forgot to do is put flour in it. Anyway, as you can see, me I mash out some of my bread because as I said, it take long to soak. Just I mash out some of my bread and put everything to put divide it out into a two loaf pan. Now after this, it was too runny. It was too much liquid. I had too much liquid in there. So what I did, and I didn't record this part, I used some flour to thicken mine because it was too much liquid and it was too runny. Now, if you have direct measurement, you don't have to use flour to thicken it, but I had to use flour to thicken mine, which was fine. I didn't have a problem with it because it come out good same way. So as you can see, it little runny, so flour it, and that was it. Now, after baking this for an hour and 20 minutes, this is what it looked like. And when I tell you, it smelled good up in the house. Oh God, I wish them would have smell of vision. Because, but I did allow them to smell. But, whew. And this is why I say use some flour in there to help get it out far easier. But it looked like it burned, but it not burn. Trust me, it not burn. So anyway, see me I fight it out. I had to get like a spatula and help to take it out of the pan. But oh my God, when I tell you this was good, and it was still warm. It wasn't hot. It was warm, and look at that. The raisin them distributed like how I wanted to distribute. It was soft. It was moist. It was so delicious. The corner part, yeah, I love the corner part. But take this as your sign to go make yourself a bread pudding. You never made none before? Fine, me neither. This was my first time making a bread pudding. Go and make yourself a pudding from scratch. Because in this economy, we have to be self-sufficient. Until next time, bye.